there, everybody. This is Magnum Pi, and I am here with Teku, Golgotha, Vahilo, and Dark Templar, and we are Initiative Zero. Thanks for joining us again. This is Rifts, the Face of Evil. Again, that original adventure that came in Source Book 1 back in 1991. And yeah, we've been playing through it with some modifications. It's great to see the comments of people saying, you know, this is so different than when I ran it, all the times that I ran it, you know, and things like that. And we've been, there's just been a lot of people reminiscing and having that sort of nostalgia. If you think that's awesome, hit the like, join us on our Discord, put comments down below. If you really think we're great, subscribe. It really helps us out. We keep growing, but we'd always love to have more people with us. If you really, really like us, tell your friends, tell people you know that like Rifts. They'd probably enjoy this walk down memory lane as well. Over to you guys. How are we doing? It's now after New Year. What's going on?
Happy New Year.
Happy 2024, yeah.
Well,
Hopefully this year is better than last year.
Yeah, no kidding. I've got a really bad flu, but, you know, persevering.
That's commitment, man. You know?
Yeah.
You know, if we weren't doing it this way, people might even cancel and be like, no, I'm too sick to play. Don't want to get you guys sick, but this is here you can sit in the comfort of your own home and sip whatever it is that you're sipping and still game. Cool.
Indeed.
And cough on no one.
Yeah, just got to ride the mute button.
Well, I'm very slow at that, so expect me to cough.
All right.
Oh, and that can always be taken out in our post-production.
Yeah.
That's right. Or we can remix it. But
Yeah.
Ooh.
yeah.
It's super cut. The most
Cool.
obnoxious music file you've ever come across.
What is super?
It's a super cut of all the like random background cough noises.
All the ums and the uhs and the
Yeah.
squeaky chairs and everything. All right. Cool. Well, when we last left off, you guys were in the town of Unity. And small town, fishing town, 900 people, but human supremacist, anti-magic town. And they've got that coalition outpost nearby. So most of you were still in the boarding house, but Portland was out at the pub.
Was
Downing a beer with his quarry, Bragg.
well, not necessarily a quarry. He's a mark.
Okay.
That's not too much relationships on this.
Okay, cool. With his mark. Yeah. And, so we're going to jump right back in there. And both Bragg, again, the large, boisterous man, and Clive, the older man, to your left. Bragg to your right. Both just shaking their heads. You're a fool if you want to go wandering around the world, says Clive.
I don't know.
Just fish.
Sorry. But doesn't fishing get boring?
Well, boring's not bad.
Then what's good?
Bragg takes a big swig, kind of elbows one of his buddies. Cracking
As he's saying
skull.
that, saying that, I'm literally saying in my head, "Please say stew, please say stew, please say stew." Continue.
Cracking skulls, right? Yeah. We
What do you mean cracking skulls? Like, like a military group? Like, I don't understand.
well, before the coalition got here, we'd round up a few DBs, tie them up. Batting practice.
Oh man.
Aw, they don't deserve to live in our land. It's ours. We were here first. Clive was here before us, and his parents before him, all the way back to the time before the rifts. Humans have been living here.
Clive, have you cracked some skulls as well? Or
Nah,
just fish?
I just club fish. Make a mean stew, though.
Stew. Was it good stew though?
Damn right. Takes a pull from his pint.
Do they have any stew here?
Fish
Do they
stew.
make stew? Fish stew. I actually can't say I've ever had a fish stew before.
Well, you should have a bowl.
Maybe I will. gonna talk to look at
Yeah.
the barkeep here, and can I get one of these legendary fish stews these guys are talking about here?
Legendary, he says.
Well, they're talking it up. It seems as though it's pretty damn good.
I'll get you a bowl of
Don't
it.
make them a liar. Don't make them a liar.
I'll get you a bowl of it, sure. And he goes over, and you can hear it slopping into the bowl from the pot that they've got over by the fire, and brings it back. There you go.
So thank you. And so Bragg, you and your friends here, what do you guys do now that you're not cracking skulls?
Well, back to keeping the place safe. We keep the peace, walk around, do some field work, But we're the local militia. Whenever somebody steps out of line, we step them back into line.
Fair enough.
Yeah, work for the sheriff. I mean, coalition's here, but they don't run the show. They're just they get to use the port, and they keep the bigger things at bay. You'd be surprised how many fewer incursions there are from the rifts with the coalition here.
Oh, I see. But wouldn't you want a piece of that action though? Like, seems like there's an itch to be scratched.
Well, yeah, if they needed me, I'd step up. I'd volunteer. Would you guys volunteer? Who here wouldn't volunteer to defend unity? All right? And all the guys kind of lift their pints, and yeah.
All right. Interesting. Well, I'm going to dig into the stew for a little bit here. I'm a little bit hungry, but yeah. It's interesting. Nice to meet you there, Bragg.
Yeah. What's your name again? Oh, yeah, Portland. Yeah. Portland, yeah. Good to meet you, too. Clunks your beer. Drinks more of his.
Fantastic. Cool.
All right.
I'm going to go to start chowing down on some of this stew to determine whether it's good or not.
Yeah, it is of, I don't know, indiscriminate alignment. It's hard to determine.
Yeah, wait till I catch up with Seora. Be all over it.
That's right. Could be selfish stew. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Unprincipled stew.
Unprincipled stew.
And shellfish.
Yeah. It's a shellfish.
I'm going to ask...
Yeah.
It's a shellfish stew. Oh, so
Yep.
good. Okay.
very shellfish indeed.
Oh, dear God.
Very shellfish.
Don't get me started on puns.
All
I'm
right.
gonna ask for actually a piece of bread with my stew.
Oh, it comes with one for sure.
Oh, does it? Okay. Can
Yeah.
I get a knife with some butter on it? Then?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Fantastic. All right, I'm gonna just start chowing down if you want to move on to somebody else.
No, cool. You eat there. All right. We'll jump back to Vahilo and Sly. And it's been a little bit. The town has kind of settled down for the night, and Sly basically taps you on the shoulder and says, "All right, you ready to go?"
I'm going wherever you're going. Let's do this thing.
All right, we'll radio in to Ress, and he'll tell us where he's at and give us his coordinates. We'll camp out that way.
What's our goal tonight? Just heading out, setting up camp? Or are we going to try and watch for the path and direction of these packs?
Well, I figure if we're out of town, I'll be able to monitor the bands a little bit better. They're going to communicate by radio. If we can pick it up, we'll have a good idea of where they are.
We're just going to watch them tonight?
Well, figure out where they are, I guess.
Anything more?
I don't know. Figure out where they are, at least get an idea.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if at any point I'll be able to get some coalition armor so I can blend in a little bit better.
Well, if you want to go after them in the dark, we can do that. They might have an advantage, though, but...
Well, we'll see what happens.
All right. Cool. So, Yeah, you guys are able to head out and make your way out of town. You walk for about a half an hour, and Sly, checking on the radio there, using kind of his abilities of wilderness survival, things like that, to make his way toward where Rasputin has situated himself. And so we'll put you guys together. Actually, we'll put you guys here together, just to keep track of you guys. He's there. He's outside of his Samson power armor. He's got a fire going, and it's kind of sheltered behind a pile of rocks and the like. So it's coming from the direction of the town. You didn't see a whole lot of light until you got close. He's been keeping it low. And, yeah. He looks up to you guys and says, well, that took a while.
The other three like to take their time.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've noticed that. Just from...
Was it
Go ahead.
Was it difficult for you to get set up here?
I came up on the far side of town, and yeah, once I was able to make my ways into the woods, I just made my way through. Came around to the north side and got out of the armor, put some cover over top of it, and just set up camp. It was pretty uneventful.
No problems, I guess. I take it.
Staying in the trees. I tried to keep an eye on the radar for any of the SAMAS patrols, but they were out further from here, so I moved as quick as I could, but tried not to disturb the trees too much. They gave me enough cover. I mean, the Samson's pretty big, but it's not, it's still power armor, right? So, still around 10 feet.
Are we gonna have to worry when the sun comes up? Or do you think there's enough cover?
Well, I tried to situate us pretty deep under cover here, but we'll find out when the sun comes up, I guess, if we have to move.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
No sign or scent of psychics, dog boys, or Psi-Stalkers. So they must be off to the west. Otherwise, I would have seen them coming up this way.
Right. Well, seems like you got a pretty good spot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This should do till tomorrow. We can do some scouting then.
Okay, well, let's just listen in on the radio and make sure they don't get close.
Yep. Sly's he's got an earphone connected to the backpack radio that he's brought with him, and he's tuning dials and checking different bands and things like that. And yeah, let me give a quick roll here. Nothing yet, he says. I'll keep trying, though.
All right.
All right. Sir Luke, Senate, anything that you guys wanted to do for the rest of the evening here?
Well, I think I wanted to kind of not wander, but get a lay of the land in terms of where things are situated. Go out for a walk. Did you want to follow me or come with me?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to chat up some of the locals, just as you said, get a lay of the place.
Yeah, I want to know where things are situated next to each other, or in response
I'm more
to each other.
worried about whether or not their Psi-Stalkers or dog boys will end up patrolling. Because if they get the drop on us, then, I mean, psychic and a ley line walker, that's not a good combo.
No.
All right.
More information is better information. But subtle like.
All right. So you guys head out onto the streets then of the town. Again, it's a town of 900. Most of the activity that you see when you head out of the boarding house is concentrated to the 2 pubs that there are in town. Most of the other places have already put their lights out. It's well after sunset. It's cool now. It's almost November, so
Maybe you should hit one of the pubs before returning, just to see what's going on there.
Yeah, fair enough.
all right. And the loudest pub is the closest pub. You can go to that one. The other pub seems to be a little bit quieter, but more of a low bit of a murmur as opposed to like cheers and things like that and laughs. But
What do you
Still
think?
activity.
Murmurs or cheers?
Well, cheers better cover hushed conversations, I guess.
Fair enough. Let's go in that one.
all right. And you walk into that pub. You see a familiar face of Portland over a bowl of stew, and and there is three rather large men, one particularly large. They are now currently moving tables out of the way to make a longer sort of I don't know, place where they can throw darts. They said there wasn't enough room, and the people are getting up and they're rearranging the bar and jostling things, and something falls over and people kind of laugh, and the bartender's just like, guys, just watch the. They're like, whatever, and they start moving things around, and yeah, it's
How big is the guy in comparison to me?
How tall are you again? You're like almost 7 feet
6'9".
tall. I was gonna say you're 6'9".
6'9".
Yeah, you are taller than him, but he is. Well, actually, you're big too, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 360.
I would say he's shorter than you, and probably. Oh, good lord! You've got a physical strength of 36. Are you even?
We can put the measuring tape away, I think.
Wow. You're bigger than him, but he's you are more fit than him. Let's put it that way. But he's got a bit of a gut, and he's more like one of those like strongman competition guys, as opposed to some sort of fit, I don't know, knight.
It was like Senate, but with a gut.
Senate's got a bit of a skinny neck. I don't think this guy even has a neck. Anyway,
I have a physical strength of 18, which for a normal human is, I would say, acceptable, especially one that mostly just works in the mental sphere.
yeah, no, that's pretty impressive. This guy he's bigger than you. He's
Okay.
he's more massive than you are.
That's fine.
But you're still no slouch. You're probably
I
pretty like if you took off your shirt, you're ripped, right? Like
I can kill him with my brain. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. Cool. And yeah, there you are.
So walking in, it doesn't flip my sixth sense or anything like that, does it?
No danger currently.
Yet.
So there you are.
So I look over at Sen and go, do you want to join Portland?
And I'm actually just gonna say, kind of shake my head and let's go over there and we'll grab a table where he can see us and we can see him, but that way we're not, one big cluster of new people.
Okay,
Good
cool.
idea.
So essentially this is the lay of it. When you walk in, the bar is kind of along the right-hand side, and there's a bit of a small L shape where it flips up, kind of right near the front door. So a waitress could go behind the bar and come out. And in that little nook there is a small round table that's situated with windows on either. It's right in the corner, so a window on one side and a window on the other. and that gives you a pretty good survey of the bar, Portland at the bar, and beside a rather old Popeye-looking man. And yeah, you guys take a seat at the table there. It looks like the residuals of somebody who may have gotten up not too long ago, like some dirtied plates and 80% of a beer missing.
Cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like a guy sleeping on the table or underneath it, I suppose.
No. Nobody left any deposits either. So.
Yeah. And as the waitress goes by, I'll try and get her attention.
Yeah. Yeah. She comes over and, well, you're new. What can I get you?
I only knew until you get to know us.
True.
And I'll look at Luke and say, are you hungry? Have you eaten?
I could have something to eat.
I don't believe that for a moment. Do you have a kitchen in the back?
Sure. Yeah.
What's on the menu?
Well, we got a fish and chips. We got a chowder. We got yeah, we can make up some cold cuts and the like if you want a cold cut platter, boiled eggs, things like that. Sandwiches.
I'll have the chowder and the fish and chips.
Oh, okay.
And can I get a beer as well?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start with a beer, please.
All right. And yeah, after a little while, she'll come back with the beer, and then a little while longer, she'll bring the food out. But yeah. So Portland, you see your friends walk in and avoid you apparently, and go sit down at another table.
I am going to smile. I got a little thin smile as I'm eating my stew. Is Clive still next to me?
Oh yeah. He's been yammering on about the good old days and how his father scratched a living from the earth and from the lake and blah blah blah.
I'm asking about like maybe not the bad things that came from the possible rift that perhaps soured everyone's opinion of magical users, but were there good magical users around ever?
Well,
was it always like this? Like, were they harming? Like, it just seems so strange. Other places I've been to, there's been at least some type of cohesiveness in some or other.
Well, I'll tell you, there have been in the past people that knew how to use magic, but then they ended up trying to lord over everybody else. Thought they were better or special because they could use magic, and then they ended up trucking with the evil that came from the rifts, and well, I just corrupted them. Ended up causing more harm than good. Sorry.
Like who though? Like certain type of like monsters, like ley line walkers, or like what kind of people were doing this?
Well, I don't know.
Or things, I guess. I don't know.
Well, magic users, spellcasters.
I've met some I've met some like monster. I've seen some before and fought a few or ran away from a bunch of other ones. But like some of them that I've met, they seem like pretty, I don't know, all right humanoids, I guess.
Yeah, just wait till they're around long enough. That's all. Eventually they'll think they're better than you because they can do things that you can't. That and, I mean, I don't know about you. I see a coalition officer walking around with a gun strapped to his hip. I know where his weapon's at. When one of those Psi muties or one of those magic users comes strolling around, you don't know where their weapon's at. You don't know if they're just going to blink and snap your neck. You don't know if they're going to summon up some sort of terrible thing out of thin air and just lay waste to somebody's house because they disagree with them. Can't tell. Can't trust them.
Fair enough. I see where you're going with that, but I don't know if that's the best way to live either, right? Like always being in fear of the other.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I'm not necessarily afraid.
No?
Just don't want them here.
Interesting.
You know, they can have their own place. They can open up rifts.
Where
They
is
can
that?
go wherever they want. They don't have to live here.
Okay.
Coalition's done
All
a
right,
fine
well.
job keeping humanity safe in their cities. Maybe one day, when this place gets a little bigger, it'll be able to join the coalition. It'll certainly be able to grow faster with, with Hope there. New Hope.
With who? Sorry?
The other town, just down
New
the
Hope. Oh,
bank.
New Hope.
Yeah, New Hope. You know, it'll be. Well, if we merged, we'd be big enough, and maybe they'll build one of those fancy cement cities here. You know, keep it safe. Keep it safe.
Fair enough. I heard. Have you heard any rumblings about like cyborgs or anything by any chance?
Well, up near Ottawa,
Yeah.
yeah, they got a lot of headhunters up that way. One came into port apparently today.
Oh.
Yeah, had all sorts of implants, robotic arms, robotic eye. I don't know.
Feeling on that.
Well, I don't know. I can understand when a man's lost something, he needs it replaced. I get
True.
that. And you find a cyber doc who's got a part and he can fix you and you can get along, that's fine. That's not bad. I mean, it's better than a peg leg or a hook hand. But, I don't understand, those people that will lop off a perfectly good arm, put on a thing that can't sense touch or feel feel the chill of a mug of beer, just to be more powerful and lord over other people. That I don't
Again, yeah,
understand.
the whole lording thing. You would know whether they replaced with a weapon or not, too, right?
Well, yeah, again, those arms can hide an awful lot of things. And, yeah, and then some people just get carried away, end up becoming more machine than man. Twisted and evil.
Fair enough. What about just straight up robots?
Like the Sam-ass power armor, you mean, or UAR-1? Over by
No,
the...
like a robot, like just an artificial intelligence that's just robot.
They got those things now?
Oh man, I've come across a couple of those things. They're pretty scary looking.
Where?
No motion
Well, I'd imagine not.
down by. And I mentioned whatever town or wherever we're passing that kind of area.
Yeah, Trapper's Cove.
And
yeah.
yeah, I'm like, they were scary, man. They have no emotion. They don't care who they're shooting at, what towns they're leveling. It's some scary stuff.
Well, who made them? The Coalition?
I don't know who made them, but they came without warning and with malice. Like I don't know if it was malice. They were maybe just told to do it by some person behind a screen or whatnot. And yeah, it was something to behold. That's for sure. A couple of them just wiped out in like an entire town.
What? No pilot?
Nothing.
I had never heard of that.
Scary stuff, man. Never know. It could be coming to a town near you. You even know it. They can disguise themselves and everything.
Terrifying.
Absolutely. They can be animals. They can be fish. They can be anything.
Robots.
Robots.
No pilot.
No pilot.
I'll be damned.
Crazy world we live in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys that was hanging with Bragg kind of overhears what you're saying there. Says, "Oh, I've seen one of those."
Oh shit! Really? Where?
Yeah. Yeah, it's they call it a drone. One of the Steaders out east, closer to halfway between here and Ottawa, he had one. Yeah, said he bought it off a guy who got it off a guy It was damaged, but heck, if it doesn't till a field fast.
No kidding, never gets tired, right?
Doesn't get tired, and it just follows verbal commands.
The ones I saw weren't following any demands, though. Like any verbal demands. They were just doing their own thing.
Doing their own thing.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like there was no one telling them anything. They were just marching and being destructive and shit.
Oh, huh. Yeah, he said it was a northern gun make. Labor bot, they called it.
Yeah, this one seemed more fitted for action, if you know what I mean.
Like tricked out with weapons?
Yeah.
Huh. Isn't that interesting?
Well, if you can train it to do a bit of tilling, I'm sure you can train it to kill a person, right?
Damn scary, says Clive.
Absolutely.
Jump back to Sir Luke and Senate.
Were
So-
we close enough to hear any of that?
Sure, yeah.
So I'll give Senate kind of the eye and thing, and kind of, what do you make of this? Kind of under my breath.
We'll say, well, small town folk, scared of what they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a bit confused as far as what they think is versus isn't a threat, necessarily. There's a
They don't
point
seem to
be
get out
made.
much.
Well, there's a point to be made that, there are things in this world that can just snuff you right out of existence, no questions asked.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to look around, and do I see any... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just that said, might be a bit confused as to their prejudices, let's say.
So as he's talking, I'm kind of looking around and kind of getting a idea of who else is in here. Anything that kind of jumps out at me as potentially significant. Like, is anybody dressed as, any coalition on, maybe on, what I'm looking, I can't remember the word.
Like on leave. Yeah, like...
On leave, yeah. Off
Yeah.
duty.
Off duty, yeah. You don't see any uniforms. This is pretty much a fisherman's bar. It smells like these people have been working on boats all day, working with fish. They're not really bathed, right? They came off the boats. They came up here. They've been drinking ever since. They're going to probably pass out in the next hour or so and get up and do it all again tomorrow.
Okay, what are the numbers, roughly?
You probably got about, I don't know, anywhere between 20 to 30 people in here.
All right.
Mostly men. You got your waitresses, that sort of thing. There's always that old lady that's been here, that lives basically here. She's always at the bar, her, and same with Clive, the old man that probably lives here too, right? He's always here. People smoking, people drinking, people eating fish, chips, peanuts, lots of peanuts, and drinking a lot of ale. So.
I'll have another one, actually.
Yeah, well, they bring your food and you ask for another one as you down that first one. Yeah, Mr. I can drink dwarves under the table. Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm just going to nurse my first one.
Good.
So, yeah, I'd kind of like to get an idea after this, maybe where the base is. Like, just get an idea how far it is away from here. Maybe you could monitor for,
Yeah,
No
if
problem.
they come into town, when, how often, and where do they tend to go?
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. How do you want to go about doing this?
Well, I'm also curious about the town's opinion of the fact that they might have dog boys and Psi-Stalkers rolling through every so often.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because the woman that runs the boarding house, she was pretty, we'll call it
Bigot.
disrespectful as far as, oh yeah, they're here to protect us, but beyond that, they
Don't
go
pull
get
any
fucked.
punches either.
I mean, what? Call a spade a spade.
There you go. Good. Yeah, she was tolerant of them as long as they served their purpose, right?
Yeah, to her benefit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you
Well,
do.
Nick-
Sorry, Senate. You do have things like telepathy and the like.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I mean,
Next time the waitress comes, I'll kind of chat her up as well.
Sure. Yeah, she'll come back with your beer, and there you go. Here's your opportunity.
Hey, just a really quick question. We saw some coalition droids or robots out there. Is this is a coalition place?
Sorry, is this a coalition place?
Yeah, like I didn't realize this town was part of the coalition.
Oh well, we're not officially part of the coalition now. They set up their their depot there, and they make use of the docks, and they do fly rounds and the like, and they come into town now and then. But it was mostly a deal that was set up for protection. They get to use the facilities of the town, and we get the protection of them being nearby.
Oh, okay. How long have they been here?
Oh, not long actually. Probably just under a year. It'll probably be a year in the spring.
Oh, so they must have set up a base somewhere then.
Well, they have the depot there. It's a supply depot for the patrols that they send out.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they put it
Yeah,
up
well,
pretty
dangerous-
quickly.
Yeah, are there quite a few people? A few of them here?
Whoa, you got well, there's a few. Yeah, I'd say you got at least I don't know, 20 men, and then you got the Psi-Stalkers and the dog boys, but they're out usually in the woods.
Oh, I see.
and I'm sorry, how often did you say they came through town?
Well, they come in and out. When they're off duty, the soldiers will come in, and they usually don't frequent here, though. They don't want to get their uniforms dirty, I don't think. Nice enough, though.
I was going to say I haven't seen any of them yet. Where do they tend to go?
Oh, over down to the other bar down the road. Mostly that's where they hang out.
Oh. And I'll kind of lean in a bit and say, well, I mean, you mentioned the dog boys and the Psi-Stalkers. Do they tend to roll through town? I mean,
Oh,
just hearing the big man over there, and I'll gesture around Luke at the other guy. And I don't know how lightly they'd be looked on.
well, the coalition tolerates them, so they can't be that bad. They're very good. I mean, they routed out a psychic apparently that had been living here for years, and those
Really?
dog boys, they were on him. They cornered him and nearly tore him to shreds until the Psi-Stalker stepped in and called him off. I thought the Psi-Stalker himself would have been all over it too, but apparently he was a bit more humane than I thought he would be.
That's interesting.
Although he did some weird sort of thing. Never saw it
What's that?
before. Well, he took off his helmet. It looked like he hadn't ever seen the sun. Bald and pasty white, and he leaned over the man, and it was almost like he breathed in what he was breathing out.
Like he kissed him?
No. Just kind of was holding him down by the shoulders, and when the man kind of coughed, the Psi-Stalker sort of breathed it in.
Would I
Did the
be
psychic
aware
survive?
of what she's describing?
She might be describing how a Psi-Stalker actually feeds. You know that they feed off of potential psychic energy,
Yeah.
and you would probably be... Well, you have lore psionics, correct?
Yeah, I'd probably be making the inference.
I'll give it a toss and see just how much detail you know.
Sure.
You know at least that much. Yeah.
Nope.
So you don't know much more than that. You do know that, I guess the one little bit more that you do know is that they have to cut you first before they can feed from you.
Do I
Sorry.
hear this from across the room?
Yeah, they're not very far from the bar. So, yeah. You could
I was just say,
overhear
it sounds
this.
like he was sucking them off. And I raise a beer.
I don't know that warrants raising.
I was going to say, you know those moments when the record kind of stops and you hear the scratch sound and it was that
I'm probably
perfect...
wondering how I got into this situation.
It was that perfect...
Owen Wilson's in the room now, yeah.
It was that perfect lull, that 7-minute lull, and all of a sudden, sounds like you know, like,
Yeah.
and who's with me? You know, like everybody just kind of stops and looks at you. Clive kind of taps his cigarette, takes another drag, says, "You all right there, son?"
I was just listening to this story over here. It sounds like this psi sucker was sucking some psi off this thing.
Okay. It was a pretty strange
Yeah.
thing watching that Psi-Stalker, though.
Why is that?
Well, I'd known Bob for years. Never
So
even
as he's-
realized.
As he's
Bob's the psi sucking guy?
No, he's the guy that got fed off of, the psychic. Didn't even
Oh,
know
I
Bob
see.
was a psychic.
going
Yeah,
into
Bob-
this story,
Now that I thought about it, he's beat me in cards an awful lot. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Could I try and use telepathy on this guy? Given
On-
that these would be his surface thoughts, I'd probably be
On
able
Clive?
to remove
On
it.
Clive, yeah, for sure. Yeah. He's,
I'll ask,
you-
did Bob know that Bob was a psychic?
Bob probably knew that Bob was a psychic, as far as
He might have
psychics
had
go.
He might have had
You
an
see that?
inkling.
Wait, did the record skip on that one too? Just curious. When you said that? The
did.
record skip when you said, did Bob know Bob was a psychic too?
I don't-
No, I'm just saying that sometimes it's latent, right? People might not even realize it.
Right. So as he's reading his mind, I'm still talking to Clive here.
Yeah.
So then, Bob, was he a good enough person? Like, did he ever do anything bad to you?
Well, like I said, he always beat me in cards. Generally,
Sure.
generally not terrible, but God only knows what he was up to.
True, but like, you didn't do anything. I don't know. It just seems very. I understand your whole safety thing, but did you ever feel unsafe around him? I guess is the question.
Well, I don't know. It was a bit weird. Just takes a drink, and Senate, what you're getting off of him as you read his mind are basically just kind of where he was talking with a rather awkward kind of man. They played some cards. He was raking in, the other guy was raking in the money or whatever they put in the pot. There were some laughs and stuff like that, and
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Bob would crack a joke and nobody would get it sometimes, and they just kind of he didn't have the best social skills perhaps, but it's kind of what you get.
Okay. Well, I've got the ability for the next couple minutes, so I mean, depending on where the conversation goes, I might be able to pick more out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But should just sit there staring while there's a waitress in front of me.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah, a little
I'd
weird.
be talking to her as well. So
Yeah, well, you were talking to her, right? That's kind of how this
yeah.
precipitated. So continue. You can continue that one. Sorry.
Alright.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I just find it fascinating that we're seeing the expansion, because it seems that they are expanding a bit, right? I mean, is it I'm sorry, you're probably busy and want to get back to work, but I'm curious. I mean, is the goal of the community to join the coalition?
Oh well, I don't know. I would take a lot, I think, between us and New Hope. But well, we're right in the middle of the coalition. Off to the northwest is Ironheart, as everybody knows, and off to the east is Free Quebec. So we're kind of stuck in the middle. It's only a matter of time, I'd imagine, before the two come together.
Well, I think I've taken up much of your time. Is there anything else in town that's worth doing? We're going to be here for a few days.
Well, we do have the finest collection of spoons that has ever been, just kind of knick-knacky type things. And she goes off, Mrs., so-and-so makes the finest doilies this side of whatever. Anyway, but...
Doilies? Oh.
Yes. Arcane things, doilies. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, she just kind of, we've got the world's largest ball of twine, like things like that. Standard small town stuff.
I would legitimately do a tour to see each community's largest ball of twine.
Yes, there's probably 6 largest balls of twine. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going back to Clive here.
Yep, for sure.
I'm just curious. So you're big, obviously, on fishing, and so what are some good fishing spots around here? If I care to take some time and put my mind at ease and do the good.
Well, I tell you what. You buy me another pint, I'll take you out. Show you a good fishing hole.
All right. Cool.
Gotta stay close to the islands near the shore here, but
Why is that?
that's where the fish go.
Oh, fair enough. There's certain fish you shouldn't eat.
Well, yeah, you don't want to. You catch yourself a carp, you want to throw it back. Kind of bottom feeder type stuff. Sheephead's not all that great. Bass is good. Pike's good.
Nothing like poisonous that'll like kill me if I'm gonna eat this thing.
I don't know. It's probably something, but
Depends on how poorly you cook it.
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, we don't have any
tapeworms. Any killer tapeworms?
Oh yeah, got one of those ones. Yeah, that's how
Good
I stay
diet
so
fat,
thin. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Good diet fad. Keeps the pounds off.
that's right. Yeah, cool.
All right, well, I'm gonna buy you that pint. You definitely earned that.
All right.
1 pint here, please. What about
All
you
right.
two? You guys want a pint?
Who are you talking to? Senate and Luke, or
Yeah.
And I'll look at Luke and
I'm finishing off my
Sure.
second, so yeah,
Sure, why
sure,
not?
I'll have a third.
Down. Stay
all
a
right.
while.
The pints come out. We'll jump back out to Lex with the Psi-Stalkers.
All right.
Yeah. There we are. Cool. And that's you do definitely as you sit with them, you hear your ears catch the breaking of twigs and the like.
Can I move away from where the fire is? I want to kind of move away from the fire into the bush where it's like I'm in between, or the fire's in between where the breaking of the twigs was and where I am. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep. And yeah, Sly doesn't
What I
seem
need
to have
to, like,
heard.
what I need.
Sly doesn't seem to have heard
what I
this.
need to
He's got his head in the radio.
Okay.
Yeah, and Rasputin, let me see what he's got. Well, yeah, he would have heard it as well. He kind of looks over his shoulder. You get up and move.
Can I try and camouflage myself in there, or is the darkness enough?
Prowl would be the skill that you would use to try to hide yourself. Yeah. Yep, so you try your best. You'll never truly know if you're hidden until somebody doesn't find you, I guess. But you crouch down there, and what did you bring with you? You probably brought stuff with you, I'd imagine. You didn't leave it all behind.
I would assume that I had all of my stuff.
Yeah. Are you wearing your
I
armor?
wasn't planning on. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Anything you want to ready, or?
Yeah, I want to take out my NG, that NG laser pistol.
Yeah. you ready that. Rasputin will tap Sly on the shoulder and kind of wave him away from the fire.
Sorry, the ion blaster's too much, so let's get the grenade launcher instead. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. And they they move away into the dark there.
Do they move closer to where I am, or?
They saw the direction you went. They kind of spread out, so that you're not all together. Yeah. And as you sit there, you can hear a few more cracks and the like. But what you do see coming in toward the fire is a small mutant dog that is it's a beagle, and it's it's dressed with this classic dog boy armor and the like, and it begins to sniff around.
Like, is he communicating with anybody, or literally just sniffing around?
He's literally just sniffing around. He has a laser pistol out. He's just wearing the riot armor, and it's basically it was the same sort of issue laser pistol that you had, and he's just kind of crouching low, smelling where you guys were sitting.
Okay, so I want to point my my laser pistol on him.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to target his head.
Okay.
What I'm kind of waiting for is if he does anything where he starts to engage me, or if he kind of starts to engage Sly or Rasputin, or if he radios for more, like for backup.
All right.
So like I don't want to attack him until there's the risk that I'm in danger.
All right. And he kind of looks up and smells the air again. And he kind of half barks. It's like, I can smell you. Come out. And with that, we will call this session. For those of you that are still with us, thanks for being with us. If you like what we did, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification, and leave some comments down below. I'm Magnum Pi, here with Teku, Golgotha, Vahilo, and Dark Templar, and we are Initiative 0.